I'm welcoming viewers around the world, viewers in Massachusetts, and viewers all over the social media. My name is Ronald and I'm hosting the show called Dialogue with the Candidates. Dialogue with the Candidates is a show in which we invited the candidate to come to our platform at MCTV, which is Multicultural Television Network, to share their political agenda, to share their plans, issues they see communities are facing, and how they plan to improve people's life. So today, November 1st, 4 days before the elections, we have with us Mr. Jimmy Pereira. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for
Pleasure.
accepting, our invitation at this time, because we know you do like sacrifices to be at our podium. And thank you. And we also have a special guest with us, which is Mr. Jean Bradley Derenoncourt.
Well, good to see you, Ronald. It's a pleasure to be at your presence, and of course, the next mayor of Brockton, Jimmy Pereira. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, both of you, to be at our platform. And we're just going to continue with the dialogue. And as I said, it's a dialogue people can know about, what you're doing. So far, you passed the primary, and now
Correct.
It's going to be the final step.
Yes.
And it's going to be Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
So how do you feel about your campaign few days before November 5th?
I like to say we feel good, but I like to feel focused. I feel concentrated. I feel like the time is near again for us to get everyone to the ballot. So I am determined, and I am basically on fire. All engines go, pistons are running, and we are gunning for November 5th. We need to make sure we come in first place, and we need to make sure we bring everyone together to move this city forward.
Okay. And well, I know campaigning, that requires a lot of efforts, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of, commitments.
Right.
So what are, your best moment or maybe worst moments during your campaign?
For certain, I think the best moment for myself and my campaign is September 17th, when we made it past the preliminary, and even more important is when we brought everyone together. I was endorsed by a majority of the candidates. Jean Bradley, of course, first, the first to reach out to me, and that to me was very impactful. And the reason why it was even more so impactful, because I had people, friends, Haitians, Cape Verdeans, come to me and said that they cried. They had tears and they had goosebumps when they see me and my brother here, Jean Bradley, come together, because for so long, we've been either competing or, whether it's challenges that we both face in our own cultures. But I feel like now, more than ever, we are coming together to bring change and to be included at the table, because for me, is what I talked about even when I ran against the late Mayor Carpenter. It's not just about Cape Verdeans. It's not just about the Irish, the Italians. It's about everybody. It's about our Haitians, about our Latin Americans, our African Americans, because the only difference between us all is a boat stop or a conversation that hasn't been had. So we need to have these conversations. We need to bring everybody together, and that's what I think the best moment of my campaign was, when people have realized that Jimmy Pereira, Jean Bradley, and all of our elected officials are looking to come and work together. So, God willing, we can make sure that's a reality. I think the worst moment of my campaign was actually at the Massasoit debate, where before the debate started, actually while I was debating Sullivan, I had a supporter in the crowd who started to cry and scream. And I didn't know what was going on, but later found out that her son died. He overdosed. But I was also brought to comfort to know that Jean, on his way into the debate, actually seen this woman and really took time to find out what was going on and bring her home so she can address the issue that she was just alerted about. So that's what I like to see in a humble person, is to, no matter what the situation is to stop, help, and make sure you help solve the problem. So that's something that, even though it was a dark moment, I know that with people like Jean, like people like myself, and people like Rosa, who has lost her son, we are going to fight very hard to stop this opioid abuse, because it's affecting everybody.
Okay. I remember, Jean, I'm going to ask you this question, because I remember on Facebook, and you let all your supporters, listen, I have a special announcement at the
Yeah.
end.
I thought I was gonna get married. Though. Yeah, good. I gotta laugh.
Yes.
Okay. So everybody was in suspense waiting for, and we see that you're endorsing Mr. Pereira.
Yes.
So what pushed you to do that?
I mean, let's face it. Well, I mean, this is an excellent question you asked, and of course, I want to thank Jimmy Pereira for not only taking the time to come here, but also continue doing what he's doing. To go back to the question you asked him earlier, the best moment and the worst moment. I mean, I think that this is the best moment for Brockton. The worst moment will be not electing Jimmy Pereira as the next mayor of Brockton. That's my view on it. In terms of knowing that as we speak for the first time in history, we have somebody who's willing to go the extra mile to bring the best to Brockton. So the reason I'm saying this is the fact that as somebody, as you know, who is still an elected official and was campaigning, Jimmy came second, I came third. So I was able to witness, if not being part of a system that was, 100% against both of us in the sense to what we stand for. But in regard to what Jimmy stated earlier, when they see Jimmy and I come together, we don't come together just as Haitian or Cape Verdean. We come together as two young people who are willing to go above and beyond to bring the best to Brockton. I want people to understand that, yes, Jimmy happened to be Cape Verdean, I'm happen to be Haitian, but guess what? Jimmy will represent the entire Brockton,
Exactly.
the Irish, the Italians, the Greeks. So Jimmy is all about inclusivity.
Exactly.
So I just want to make that point. To go back to the big announcement, I said that on Facebook literally for people to understand. As you know, I don't go live that easily. So I didn't want to just draft a little post, which I told Jimmy, and then saying that, I endorse Jimmy. I want to do something, historical, something that will never be forgotten. And the way we did it, as you know, we did it professionally speaking, but at the same time, we put thought into it. I want people to see here we are as two young people. It's not just about young people, but as two young people come together to bring the best. The expectation was I was not going to endorse Jimmy. The question is why? Because in the history of the city, they've never seen it before. So I endorse Jimmy because I know Jimmy is willing, he's committed, and he's determined. And Jimmy is a man of God, in the sense of knowing that without God, there are certain things he cannot do. And Jimmy is a family guy. He got two kids. He has a fiance. So far, although I'm not there yet, but Jimmy has been pay his dues. But the question we gotta ask: where do we want to take the city? 1 year from now, 2 years from now, and even 10 years from now. The question is: if you want to repeat the same thing over and over again, guess what? It's gonna be a mess. But I think as we speak, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ronald, we have the greatest opportunity to bring the best out of the city. And that's why I said it was a special announcement. And I didn't want to just say, hey, I endorse Jimmy Pereira. No. I drafted like that, and I asked my campaign team and Jimmy's campaign team to come together to work as one family, one community. Jimmy and I, we are brothers. That's how we talk.
Exactly.
And the communities are our family. So no matter who you are in the city, you are part of us. So I don't want people to assume that, well, this is just about the Cape Verdean or just about the Haitian. No. The way we talk about this, what can we do for our children? What can we do to making sure that everybody in the city is safe? And that's one of the things that I knew about Jimmy before I even announced my campaign. And I told Jimmy that if I made it to the primary, I would like him to endorse me. If he made it, I would endorse him. And we kept our words, and we will continue to fight until the last breath and making sure that this young man, Jimmy Pereira, become the next mayor of Brockton. That's why I dropped that announcement like that.
Okay,
Thank you.
that sounds good. And we're going to continue with the, talking a little bit about the campaign. So, a well-informed
Well,
voters...
I want to say something in Creole,
Yeah,
not just
that's okay.
English.
That's okay.
So, especially for those of you, especially pour nous-mêmes qui pas connaît Jimmy Pereira, nous voulons faire nous connaître, pas juste supporter Jimmy parce que Jimmy c'est amis ou bien son monde qui me connaît, moi supporter parce qu'il me connaît qui il a un minimum de capacité non seulement pour comprendre la communauté qui n'a vivre là, mais en même temps s'il devient magistrat, il a un paquet d'opportunités que nous-mêmes nous avons action ensemble avec eux. Région administration qui là depuis 1881. Et pas jour dire pour dire que est capable de changer la réalité. Et bien moi et ma Jimmy vivent ensemble, c'est parce que nous c'est deux jeunes et pas jeunesse qui parle, mais nous c'est deux jeunes qui passent dans un sens même misère dans la communauté et nous connaissons. Si moi et ma Jimmy mettons tête nous ensemble, on paquet de bagages nous capable faire pour petit moun spécialement drogue, qui font paquet de ravages dans la communauté, qui monde qui mourir chaque jour, bagages comme les samedi, mais population pas voter juste parce que me doit voter, mais voter parce que Jimmy Pereira a pile capacité, pile comme tu es capable de dire ça, volonté pour faire des bagages qui va jamais faire dans le système. I just translate what I said.
Thank you.
You grab some Creole. So
A little bit, right. Merci. Well, no, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, so as I said, we're going to continue with the campaign. So a well-informed voter is a good citizen. So what are the different means of communication you have used throughout your campaign?
Great question. So we made sure to use all different sectors of capacity to make sure we communicate with everyone, whether it be having videos, not just in English, but translated languages as well, messages that we've sent out to the community in different languages as well, and we continue to do that as well, because we know even in my own community, not everyone is able to read their own native language, whether it be Haitian Creole, Cape Verdean Creole, or even Portuguese or French. So we need to make sure that we provide other methods, such as audible messages, whether it be on the radio as well, again with the videos, whether it be through social media or even commercials. And that's what I want to do if elected as well, is to make sure that we provide all information, all different methods as well, so people could be included, so they know what the rules and the regulations and the expectations are, and also how to get access to information, because that's the most important thing. You need to know how your government is working for you, and you need to know where to go to get those help and the resources. But also if you want assistance, whether it be pulling permits, if you want to open up a business, if you want to make sure that you have the right information and documents to maybe build a house as well, or make investments in the city also, or even look at English second language proficiency in classes also. So that's what we want to do. That's what I will continue to do if luckily to be elected.
Okay. So all the viewers, I'm reminding you that you are listening to Dialogue with the Candidates, which is a show that MCTV is bringing in order to inform you about who's running for office and their plan and how they plan to tackle, problem people are facing. So we have with us Mr. Jimmy Pereira, who's running for Brockton mayor of Brockton. And we have a special guest with us, which is Jean Bradley Derenoncourt, who is current city council at large.
Yeah.
Correct.
As we continue with the dialogue, on October 29th, which is like recently, Enterprise published an article about, Brockton scrambling to plug like 6 million school transportation shortfall. So by December, it's going to be drying up. So you were not in the administration, but let me have you both Bradley, you can come and give your input in the question as you are the current, city council at large.
Yes.
Was it something that problem people aware of? When I say aware, the administration. And if it is so in your opinion, what measure need to be taken in order to mitigate the situation? So you both can answer and you can let me know.
Right. So I was not made aware of the situation until I've seen the article, or since actually talking to a few people as well too, but not getting a clear understanding until this article came out. This is something that again is lack of transparency. Those that were elected, that have been there for whether it be the last 6 months, 7 months, and it has been shared with us through the school committee that everyone who is involved knew about it, but they weren't being transparent. Mr. Councilor Derenoncourt will be able to inform more because he's there as well too. But again, this is why we need to make sure we bring new, innovative, clear and clean energy and who has morals as well too. And again, as a community and transportation planner, I'm a public servant, and I make sure to do everything in the betterment of the public good. There's a code of conduct that we have to follow, that we do not violate the ethics code of our servitude to not just the city of Brockton, but to the Commonwealth and to all those that are public, are involved in the public realm as well. But yeah, no, I'd hope Mr. Derenoncourt could explain some more.
I think Jimmy just made an excellent point in regard to his understanding about the issue. But as somebody who's serving on the council as we speak, and I think it's a very unfortunate situation to our children. And I hope people who are listening or watching the show will have a little bit of understanding once this is over. Here's the deal, though. When I was in school, there was a saying that one of my professors used to tell all of us. It's like, politics is a game. Public service, that's how you play it. If your constituents are not happy in regard to the satisfaction you are giving them, it's become problematic. What you just saw in regard to this $6 million shortfall, it's a lack of transparency, it's a lack of courage, and it goes to show how sometimes people will do whatever they can to put the life of our children in danger solely for political gains. I'm saying this, I'm on the council right now. Let's face it, in the history of Brockton, there's an epidemic in regard to creating positions solely because somebody did the job. Let's face it, you're not talking about $600,000. You're talking about $6 million. I think that the last mayor, unfortunately, had a lot to do with this. But the calculation was great for political gain. Let me tell you why I'm saying this. In order for you to come that short with this amount of money, especially in a place like Brockton, there was some calculation. Calculation, what can we sacrifice to come out great and nice and successful, but at the same time not showing any evidence. If you take a look back on the articles, the former mayor said, don't worry about it, I'll find a way to bring that money. Well, which way? We're going to find out now. Jesus Christ is going to come down and send this money. And I've been seeing even the folks who are involved in the government right now, and one of them was the president at that time, if not the mayor, claimed that they shock. Shock about what? Well, it shows a lack of courage. And it goes to shows you don't have to be 50 years old to be the mayor of Brockton. If you talk about experience, this is a bad experience for Brockton. And I'm not just blaming one person. I'm blaming the entire system. You know why? Because even some of them were involving in the government for the past 5, 6, 7, 14, 16 years have a lot to do with this. Because you know why? When you sit down and meet with the mayor every Monday or every Tuesdays to talk about what's going on, there should be some types of information for you to understand. Understand, $6 million for transportation. And according to the articles, if we don't come up with that money, our children will face problem in December. Now, come on. I think we come to a point where we must have the courage to pick the folks with the knowledge to do the job. And that's one of the reasons I'm supporting Jimmy. Because you know what? As somebody who's in office right now, I've been there and seen it. And I've seen where lack of courage, lack of transparency cost the city a lot of money. It's been going on with the lawsuit. I mean, don't forget, we still have a lawsuit pending. And you're not only talking about $6 million, you're talking about a lot of millions of dollars. But let's face it, it's unfortunate Jimmy's administration or the Pereira administration is going to have to find a way to get that money back. But I strongly believe Jimmy does have what it takes to do the networking, to reach out to the state, to bring that money back. And that's why now is the moment for new leadership. Now is the moment to bring the best out of us and have the taxpayers' money work for the taxpayer, not for a special group of people. And I think that it's important for people to understand, if we don't have this money, what's going to happen with our kids? They're not going to be able to go to school? What you going to do? You're going to get frustrated? And based on some of the comments that I'm seeing on Facebook, some people are saying that, well, why don't you take your kids and bring them to school? Well, I pay taxes for those services. The city is not doing anybody any favor. This is the taxpayer money. And I believe with the leadership of the Pereira administration, we will see a city full of transparency in regard to bringing the best of the best. That's why I think now the only choice that the city has is making sure that November 5th, they go out in mass voting for Jimmy Pereira to be the next mayor of Brockton.
Okay. Yes. Bradley, you mentioned about experience, and I'm going to go to Jimmy with this question. It is like you've been very consistent talking about your experience as a community and transportation planner with the Commonwealth Local Regional Planning Council. So if you're elected, let's say November 5th.
Correct.
So how is this experience going to help you to find solution to the problem facing, such as economic development, public safety, homelessness, etc.?
Thank you. So at the Old Colony Planning Council, and even previous to the Old Colony Planning Council, I've been working with the government as not just as a community transportation planner, but also as a healthy design coordinator, also as an advocate for our youth, at-risk youth that are in Department of Youth Services and in the foster care system. All these experiences, these academic and personal experiences, and even professional experiences is what I'll be bringing to City Hall. At the Regional Planning Agency, I have built a relationship not just within Brockton, but around Brockton as well, with our neighboring communities from Avon all the way down to Plymouth, Easton all the way over to Kingston, also with the state and the federal government. So MassDOT, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, I've worked with the Secretary of Transportation as well, where we're looking at advocating and promoting messages that are going to help concentrate improving on pedestrian and bicycle and accessibility to a stronger transportation network, but also a stronger sense of livability. So we want to make sure, in knowing that everything is interconnected when you look at economic development, when you look at city planning, the social issues as well. So if you want a business to come to your city, you want to make sure that your city is clean, the streets are clean, the homelessness situation is solved. So again, with the relationships that I've been building with the state and the state delegates, we want to look at bringing new innovative solutions to these old aging problems. So with the homeless situation, we want to look at the wraparound approach. And I've talked about it and I've talked about it, and people have tried to mimic it, but they still are not able to really bring the tangible solutions to the table. So we want to look at the CSX site, which is over there by the right off the train tracks, as a potential site to look at the wraparound services, where you have a single dorm apartment style secured monitored facility where someone would have a peace of mind to put their belongings and rest their head and be ready to go out to work or interviews or school the next day. There'll be a cafeteria area where they wouldn't just be fed, but they'd also learn how to cook and learn culinary arts and hygiene and nutritional values, because I believe if you give a person a fish, feed them for a day, teach them how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. The final concept would be the workshop area where they would learn about workforce development, financial literacy. They'll learn also substance abuse assistance and mental health assistance. And then also we'll look at vocational skills also, where they would learn how to work, whether it be carpentry, sheet metal welding. I went to a vocational school so I could learn with my hands, but I also wanted to pursue higher learning. So I went to college so I could get the tools to help work and fix my community, but do it collectively. So not everybody wants to go to college, so that's why we look at the vocational schools, but we also want to be able to have the opportunity to give everyone a chance to turn their lives around and maybe pursue a higher learning and come back and work with our community. So we have a brain drain where people are leaving the city because there's not really too much opportunities, or they'll go to college in a different community and they'll see great things there and end up staying there. So we want to look at how we could invigorate not just the downtown, but the other economic sectors. And through my planning experience, and also as a healthy design coordinator in the city of Springfield, I created and helped create the Springfield Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan. Brockton needs one of that, but we also need a capital improvement plan. This capital improvement plan will allow us to look at all of our infrastructure and all of our assets as well, and look at the condition, maintenance, and where we can improve on expanding services and make sure that we acquire the best products that we can at a fair rate, at a fair value. So these are the things that we need. We also need a lot of other technical things in the city, a lot of updating as well, and more transparency. So when you visit other community websites, we just spent $80,000 on a website. You see the $6 million deficit. You see why we are just spewing out money recklessly. So with this website, you still cannot see where the money is going. But if you visit Easton's website, you can go and look at the financial statements of the city, of the town of Easton. You can see the budget, you can see where the money is coming from and where is it going. That's what we need in the city of Brockton, with a population where it says it's about 95,000, but I believe it's a little bit more, which brings me to the census. We need to look at how we can encourage everyone to participate in the census, help us get past the 100,000 bar, which would help us get more federal and state aid, because once you have over 100,000, you're really designated as a metro city, and Brockton is way overdue, where we need to make sure we get all the resources, but we need to inform our community members that the census is not something that's going to impede your rights or impede your access to citizenship. It is something that's going to make sure that we are all counted, and it's not something that is going to be used to track you. It's going to be able to use to inform us, especially as a public servant. I rely on the census to look at the population, the demographics, income as well too, even with the aging population and the disability also. We need that data so we can plan accordingly for the city of Brockton and the metropolitan area as well. And Brockton is very influential in the region, as where a lot of people come to work in Brockton or come to acquire services, whether it's taxes or anything that you may be able to find assistance with, engineering opportunities and banks as well too, so in food shopping also. So a lot of people depend on Brockton. So we need to make sure that we are not just investing in ourselves, but with those that are investing in us as well, we want to make sure that they continue to feel welcome to come to the city. So public safety is another issue. As a planner, we look at, again, connecting everyone. We need more neighborhood associations. We need more districts. We have no entertainment districts, no historic districts. Everything is spread out around the city. So we need to design and organize so we can be a stronger, united city, and one that's going to make sure to bring people to invest more dollars in the city.
Okay, as we know, Brockton is diverse.
Diverse, correct.
And this diversity, we can look at it as an asset, right? And how do you plan to use that asset to move the city forward?
Great question. So right now, a lot of people are off in their own silos. They don't feel connected. We need to break those bridges. We need to break those doors, those silos, and bring everybody together by creating those bridges. So I want to look at organizing a multicultural center, not just in the downtown, but through the four sides of the city. So transportation isn't an issue. We have a lot of vacant buildings in the city. We want to work with nonprofit organizations and other organizations, and of course the state, to look at bringing all the organizations together also, so we could have a stronger collaboration and communication with other agencies, so we know where the overlap is. We want to also create tourism, of course, because again, being a very diverse city with very different foods, very different fashions and different cultures, music, we want to make sure that we provide opportunity to have our artists come and perform in the city and attract crowds and make sure that people feel safe when they come out to these events, and also making sure that we're not just sending people off to the other communities like Providence and Boston to spend money there and come home at the end of the night. And a lot of times, especially for entertainment purposes, coming home intoxicated, drunk. Drunk driving is a big problem when you have people having to go to Providence to have a good time and drive back. So we want to make sure that we're investing local, increasing tourism capacity, and making sure we're encouraging cross-collaboration with different cultures so everyone is able to look at each other, learn about each other, and learn to love each other as well. I'm always wondering, why is there always a Cape Verdean festival or a Greek festival and there's not a multicultural festival? We need to bring everybody together, again, because once we're stronger, once we're united, we're stronger rather than divided.
Okay, so if we continue with the diversity in education, French, because number one, Haitians are the second largest ethnic population in Brockton, and French is one of the official languages in Haiti.
Right.
I mean, languages in Haiti. So French is no longer part of the curriculum in Brockton public school system, as this population has been increased after the earthquake.
Exactly.
So what can the viewer who are listening to you now, they can expect in return? Is there going to be a return of the French in the classroom?
Right. Actually, there are some programs now, especially in the early education program, that teach French, but we do want to expand that to the high school level as well. I took French in high school in Springfield, Massachusetts. I took French 1 and 2. Je parle un peu le français. Je suis de Brockton. Je m'appelle Jimmy. Et j'ai mangé russe et John et griot as well. So that's what we want to do and continue to bring people together. So visiting our restaurants, Signature Kitchen, Gino's, and all around the city, we want to make sure that we do encourage our cross collaboration through language, through culture, and again, making sure we bring people together. But because, again, with the lack of transparency, where we're seeing a $6 million shortfall deficit, we need to make sure that we're using our dollars wisely and really investing in things that are going to help bring everyone to the table. And I believe that teaching people different languages will, again, increase the capacity to understand different cultures and help people assimilate to learn the community and the system here in the city of Brockton as well.
The mayor's term is 2 years.
Correct.
And at the end, let's say like in 2 years, what people should expect at the end of, for instance, if you get elected, you're mayor, so what they should expect.
So for the people, and especially my vision, is to make sure that things become clear. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on in the city of Brockton, and we need to get a blow dryer and blow it all out the way. So within the first 2 years, if I'm lucky to be elected, you can expect a clear, transparent form of government. I want to make sure that I'm not just in City Hall, but in your home, visiting you out into the community, making sure that you constantly see my face so you can know that I'm out there working for you. We want to make sure that our meetings aren't just meetings inside City Hall. I want to hold meetings outside in the community, walking throughout the city to make sure people see the work that is going on, and so make sure that visitors that are coming to the city see that Brockton is working and that we're going to move this city forward. I can guarantee you as well that everyone is going to be brought to the table, because that's what I do now as a public servant. I've worked, again, over half a decade, over 5 years, reaching out to different organizations, making sure that they are informed about what's going on in the city, in the county, and in the state as well, because it's my job as a public servant to do so. So, God willing, if I am elected come November 5th, I can guarantee you that I'll be working hard to bring everyone again to the table, because that's what I've been doing during my campaign, that's what I've been doing through my occupation, and that's what I've been doing through my life as a Brocktonian.
Okay. Thank you. And all the viewers, you are still listening to Dialogue with the Candidates, which is a show that MCTV, which is Multicultural Television Network, is bringing to you viewers, so you can know who's running for office, you can know their plan, you can know what their programs are in order to improve your life. So we have with us Mr. Jimmy Pereira, who's running for mayor in Brockton.
Correct.
And I'm going to continue to say our special guest,
Yes.
Mr. Jean Bradley Derenoncourt.
Yes.
So now we are at the end of the show, and before I gave Jimmy the opportunity to make his case for the viewers, November 5th is the election. So Bradley, we know you are the council, at large. And when your mandate gonna be ended, do you know?
Yeah, of course. In regard to the end of my, my administration, it should be over by January 6th, when the new administration steps into power. So which means Jimmy Pereira will be sworn in Monday, January 6th, and all the new people will sworn in as well, and then the old people like myself will be stepping out.
So my question, when I ask you that, another question is that, okay, now, for instance, how you plan to support, Brockton? Because I don't think that's, the end, because you...
So you don't want me to retire?
Of course not, right.
Are you in age already?
No, right.
29 years old.
Right.
I think I'm close to it. I mean...
Yeah, what's your plan?
Good question. In terms of serving the city, as you know, being a city councillor at large wasn't the only thing that I was doing. As you know, I've been involving in government for the past 7 years. I spent 5 years working at the State House. So, my commitment to serve Brockton is not something that need to be elected. My commitment to serve Brockton is being able to serve. I grew up in a culture, if not a family, where I was taught to serve others. And I said it, my first job in this country was busboy. So by virtue of being a busboy, I was able to serve, food at a restaurant, cleaning tables and stuff like that. And if I did not want to get involved, if I did not want to serve, I probably wouldn't join Jimmy's campaign. And I think it should somewhat give some people hope that I'm not giving up. Because you know why? Sometimes, especially at our age, when we lose, we have a tendency of saying that I'm done. I never said that I haven't given up at all. I'm still in the city. I haven't took a vacation at all. So I think my commitment is to continue doing whatever I can do as we speak to get this kid elected. I used to call him kid. We're both, kind of like the same age, to get Jimmy Pereira elected November 5th. And then depending on what happened after that, I don't know. But one thing that I do know, I'm not going anywhere in the sense of I'm not moving out of Brockton. I'm not giving up on the community. I'm not gonna go out there and saying that I'm done with Brockton. I don't think Jimmy would, or I think that my paramount goal as we speak truly is to make sure that Jimmy Pereira become the next mayor of Brockton. I haven't really thought about what am I going to do next. I haven't processed that thought. I haven't even entertained that motion yet, because all my focus right now is to making sure that this young man, the best choice of Brockton, become the next mayor of Brockton November 5th. So once Jimmy become the next mayor of Brockton, then you can ask me that question because I'm assuming Jimmy will come back to your show to think. The people who I'm assuming will go out there, full to vote for him. So because I think that, this selection is not about Jimmy Pereira. This selection is not about me. This selection is not about one person. This selection is about the future of our kids. This selection is about bringing the best public safety system that Brockton has never seen. This selection is about bringing everybody together so we can destroy the gap. This selection is about the future of us, the power of us, because it's important for people to understand, you will make that decision, although it's for 2 years, but it will have an impact on you for the next 15 or 20 years. And we cannot go on. We cannot... The definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is to keep on repeating the same thing over and over again and expect the same thing. Some people have been in the government for 14 years. The question is, what have you done? Well, of course, you will claim you've done that, but why now? Why now? Why now? Why now do you believe that you have the bullet or you have the magic bullet to change everything? So that's one of the reasons I strongly believe that we, as the community, do have a solemn obligation not just to live there, not just to send our children to school there, but also to participate in regard to the election. It's important to vote because without your vote, Jimmy won't be elected. Without your vote, all these amazing ideas and great plans and the future of Brockton, that's not going to happen. But with one vote, think about it, with one vote, you can drastically change the outcome of the city. And that's why, I am begging you folks to go out and vote. I'm not just a guy asking you to vote. I am in the system right now. I see what's going on behind the scenes. The thing is that if you are not at the market, if you are not at the kitchen, regardless what they serve you at the table, you're going to have to eat it. And we don't want to eat it. And that's one of the reasons Jimmy put himself on the line, his family is on the line, sacrificed his 2 children on the line to serve you. And I think people might think this is just like a joke. This is not a joke, folks. You're talking about a $450 million budget. With his leadership, his commitment, and his energy, I believe Brockton will go to the next level. Not here, as some people claim, but all the way up there, because that's important. So in terms of my involvement, I will never stop. I will never stop because I want Jimmy Pereira to become the next mayor of Brockton. From this moment forward, we will do everything that we can possibly do. Make phone calls, raise the money, talk to whomever we can meet on the street, and let them know that the only options that they have is voting Jimmy Pereira to be the next mayor of Brockton. So now is not the moment to talk about what am I going to do next. Now is the moment to talk about what I'm going to do to making sure that Jimmy Pereira become the next mayor of Brockton. Once this is over, then you can ask me that question. That's what I will do.
Okay.
Thank you. Right.
Gene. And Jimmy.
Yes.
So November 5th, it's next week.
It is.
And this is the opportunity, to the viewers to know, make your case.
Thank you. No, most certainly. First and foremost, I want to thank you again for this opportunity, Ronald, and thank you, Gene, for joining me again as well, too, because we are stronger together. And to the people out there in the community, I ask you, please make the right decision to help move this city forward because we are stronger united than divided. We need to make sure, again, that we elect someone that has the experience, not just professionally, but academically and personally. I have seen the good, I've seen the bad, I've seen the ugly in the city of Brockton. I ran in 2017 because I had a sense of urgency. I didn't wait for the opportunity where it looked easy and bright. I made sure to continue to fight, especially after 2017. And here we are again, passing the preliminary and making sure that we bring everybody again to the table. Again, please make sure you make the right decision. Spread the word. Bring your friends, bring your families, bring everyone that you can to the polls because we need to bring change to the city of Brockton. You've seen the $6 million deficit. You've seen the lack of transparency. You've seen those that have said that they are ready to work for you continue to provide smoke and mirrors and lack of, again, transparency. So please elect someone that's always been there at the forefront, that has always shared their experiences and made sure to become the person that we need to help move the city forward, and know that I'm not going to be doing this alone. As a public servant, as a planner, we know that it takes a lot of effort and a lot of collaborative measures to get the job done. Whenever you look at a report from the Regional Planning Agency, there's not just one name on the report. There's a list of names, and all the staff are named because we know that we need each other, whether it be land use, economic development, whether it be engineering and transportation. Everyone is asked to serve. Everyone is asked to put their opinion at the in the papers, and also to work forward in implementing these reports and plans. So please, again, make sure to elect someone that has done it, that has been working for the city, not just behind the scene, but in the forefront, and hasn't asked for credit. Because I believe, again, we need to do it collectively, and we need to do it from the heart. We need to have compassion. We also, again, need to have brains to make sure that we're implementing the newest, innovative ideas, policies, and practices to, again, make sure that we have a strong, vibrant city of champions, also known as the city of Brockton. So again, I hope to earn your vote November 5th from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please feel free to give us a call at 508-521-9725 so you know where your polling location is, so you can let us know if you need transportation, and to let us know that you, again, voted for a stronger, united Brockton. And hopefully having a Pereira administration in City Hall will not just be a Pereira administration, but it will be the Brockton administration, we the people. Again, it's not just for me, it's not just for our communities, it's for us, we the people of Brockton. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate all of your support.
Thank you, Jimmy, for sharing your, precious time with us to come to our platform. And thank you, Bradley, for joining us as well for this dialogue. And all the viewers, you have been listening to Dialogue with the Candidates.
I want to say something in Creole too.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So, not demandé toute population, mes amis, nous vivons dans un cas faux côté. Sincèrement, communauté haïtienne au rendez-vous. Nous seulement nous gagnons candidat pour magistrat Jimmy Pereira, mais il t'a vraiment fait mal si nous citer nous à 10 pieds. So nous non élection côté nous à 10 pieds dans l'élection en tout. Maintenant nous non seulement pour nous voter pour à 10 pieds, mais pour nous voter pour Jimmy Pereira. Dans le moment ça, on choisi deux monde ça avec force, avec toute énergie, parce que je connais que si moun sa yo entré dans l'office, il y a fait un bagage pour la communauté haïtienne. Je ne vois pas juste Jimmy, ou bien juste quoi avec dans la rue. Nous avons une relation très profonde. Ce n'est pas aujourd'hui en séparé, mais pendant des années. Et bien, dans le moment, dans le cas où nous arrivons là, il est important pour nous sortir en masse, pour nous voter pour Jimmy Pereira comme magistrat à ville Brockton, et puis Adis Pierre comme conseiller municipal. Parce que les gens qui font me dire ça, les nous pas dans la mairie, les nous besoin bagay nous obligé passer par Y ou bien Z. Mais nous avons des gens qui parlent langue nous, qui comprennent la réalité nous, qui capable d'un minimum de connexion en cas où tu as un bagay qui mal passé pour la jeune nous. Eh bien, on monte quoi à 10 Pierre, on monte quoi Jimmy, ce sont des gens qui moi-même moi carré à tout moment ou bien me contacter quel que soit côté là. Eh bien, dans le moment, à nous mettre main en main, force à force, j'aimerais toujours dire pour nous prêcher en l'esprit d'unité. Pour ne pas quitter mon abdi, nous mais ça pour nous faire en fonction de qui ça va le faire pour nous ou bien qui ça va capable bénéficier. C'est une seule communauté, nous c'est un seul peuple, nous avons pile valeur, nous avons pile espoir. Et bien dans le moment, non seulement nous pourrons voter, mais nous allons voter pour tête nous, on allons voter pour l'éducation, on allons voter pour la sécurité publique, on allons voter pour la vie de la jeunesse, on allons voter pour petit grand monde nous. Parce qu'il y a un sens d'insécurité dans le système là, pour avoir pile problème dans drogue. Que les petits moun yo pral fumer buzz, yo pral fumer toute qualité bagay que nous même nous pas même contrôle yo. Administration Jimmy Pereira ou bien administration peuple en général là, l'administration en bas 10, ce sont deux monde qui travaillent main en main, force en force pour pousser l'agenda communautaire devant. Et bien dans moment nous t'ai voté pour moi en 2017, nous t'ai passé dans l'élection. M'a dit nous merci pour votre support nous. Nous t'ai voté encore pour moi 17 septembre malheureusement, il vient en deuxième, vient en troisième. Même amour ça, même force ça, même sagesse ça, même détermination ça qui nous gagne pour moyen, même encouragement ça, et bien bah jeune homme ça, Jimmy Pereira, bah dispel parce que deux monde ça ce sont des monde qui moi même moi connais que si au bon position il y a des populations, pas que des monde doux ça pour faire, même qu'à un minimum d'idées en fonction des réalités. Il y a une différence entre information et transformation. Information m'a porté bah c'est pour information pas qu'à joindre. C'est une information côté qui publiée parmi tout le monde. Et maintenant, moment, il est pour nous suspendre, acheter chat dans ma coûte. Il est pour nous suspendre, voter pour des gens qui connaissent nous seulement les élections. Every election, people come to us and tell us this is what they want. Moment ça a fini. On vote pour Jimmy Pereira, on vote pour Adisper, si on vote pour l'éducation, j'aime se dire, si on vote pour la vie de la jeunesse, si on vote pour Tigamounio, et si on vote pour l'autre système de sécurité en dans ville là. Nous pas c'est Derenoncourt, ancien candidat pour magistrat, conseiller municipal, moi viens devant nous avec toute sagesse, moi encore pour me dire non. Merci mes amis, on a fait expérience là, mardi 5 novembre, on a sorti en masse pour nous voter pour Bull Pick New York qui c'est Adis Pierre et puis Jimmy Pereira. Thank you folks for taking the time to listen to us. It is my distinguished privilege to be at your presence to support my good friend Jimmy Pereira, whom I believe is going to be the next mayor of Brockton, and also Adis Pierre. I talk about these people in Creole because I strongly believe that we have a state of urgency where we need two people who are willing and determined and also public friendly that can work for you. Jimmy said it perfectly. It's not a Pereira administration. It's going to be the people administration. This is pretty good. I hope I knew that before you said it. But now is the moment for us to put all division aside, all nonsense aside, to focus on the future of Brockton. And the future of Brockton is you, the future of Brockton is Jimmy Pereira, and the future of Brockton is all of us. Folks, November 5th,
Yes.
one thing we know, let's come together in full, with full speed, and go out there voting for Jimmy Pereira to be the next mayor of Brockton, and Adis Pierre, your next city councilor at large. Thank you.
Thank you to you, both of my guests, and all the viewers. You heard Jimmy Pereira case, and the election is on November 5th, and you now informed to make informed decision when you go to the polls. So my name is Ronald Bernard, and I am hosting the show called Dialogue with the Candidates. We will see you for the next show. Thank you.